All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Crafts with John here. Hold on, make my lighting set up. Hope you're all having a good day, and I thank you in advance for being here early. I know that it was kind of a weird schedule today. I didn't get the notification out last night like I normally do. So, and we're also a half hour earlier as the week goes, but I've got a work thing today at 9 o'clock that I can't escape. Unfortunately, I've got to be there at 9 o'clock, so I've got to have A, earlier start, B, kind of a hard stop at 9 o'clock. So that's the reason why we're here so early, and I'll give you a few minutes all to kind of get joined in here. But let's go and talk real quick. Some of the normal announcements that we have to make. The Color Up DiceCon, and again, Jeremy's not involved with me talking about this thing. I'm just talking about it because I think it's going to be super fun. And I'm looking forward to going and meeting people in person, putting some faces to all these great names we see in chat and as well as in the dice court. So get joined up with Jeremy's club. Get signed up for the thing. Again, he's only charging $32 for it. That's only to cover some of the hard costs of renting on Casino Quest. So get yourselves there. The other announcement I have for you is Casino Gaming TV. Again, I'm just gonna remind you, start transitioning from the Pro Craps channel to the Casino Gaming channel for the purposes of watching this show. My regular Pro Craps content is going. As a matter of fact, I uploaded something yesterday, and I got, interestingly enough, I got some fun comments on that. I uploaded a video that I did. So here's the way this works. Yesterday we did the whole hour on HCS versus Skill 66, the quarter pounder versus 66. And it was good and fun and all that, but it's a long show, right? I chopped out the middle 30 minutes, which is me talking about the strategies and me rolling them out, and put just that up on Pro Craps. And it seems to be working, right? People are watching it in both places and all that. There was some confusion about where the chats go. When I upload back from, like when I download this video today, in fact, and upload it to Pro Craps channel, we lose the chat. The Casino Gaming TV keeps the whole show and the chat. So if you want to see the live chat as it happens, that's the place to go and watch that. So there is a way to get to it for sure. So just want to make sure we called that out so that you all knew kind of where things are. Also, a couple of quick personal notes here. One is going to be to Ken at Ken Knows Gambling. I'm not sure if you're on this morning, Ken, but you know, we all know Ken's been open about this on his channel. He's going through some stuff right now, which sucks. And I don't want to belittle that. Ken, we don't know. I like to say, people will say, you know, I know what you're going through. You know, got your back kind of thing. We don't know what you're going through, right? It's tough. You're in a really tough season. And when you're going through something that we can't necessarily all relate to, number one, or B, have the scope of experience that you're having, it's hard for us, right? So just know that we're here for you, man. We're thinking about you. We can't tactically help, but we love you, and you know, you're on our minds all the time, right? And when Greg was out, he was on my mind constantly, and that's just how we are. So I think we're all kind of here and behind you. So the other thing I want to say on a personal note is yesterday, and I probably had done this before, and if I have done it in the past, I apologize. And I'm going to apologize publicly right now for this too. The chat is really hard to manage. One thing I love about this live show is that we have chat. And you all are kind of talking to each other the whole time through. It's great. It's fantastic. It makes this worth it. Bryan, who does a show in the morning now, will tell you that it's worth it to have the chat. You love seeing all the stuff going on. But when I come back to the chat after playing or whatever, I catch stuff in the middle. And you all are talking to each other, and I see a comment that looks interesting, and I'll put it up on screen. Usually it's out of context because I don't know what you were talking about. I think you're talking to me, but you're not. You're talking to somebody else. So I'll respond to something that wasn't actually meant to be responded to. So when I do that, it maybe come off sometimes as off-putting or as dismissive or whatever, and I don't mean for that. I never mean for that. I always think when I read these things that it's meant for me. It's not always the case. So remind myself that's not true. Let you all know that if I do that, it's never meant as an offensive thing. I'm just seeing words that look interesting and I want to respond to them. So I apologize if I offend you by coming through and replying to something that's way out of context with something that's even worse out of context. So Jeff from Mid-Atlantic Crafts has offered to work with me on finding a way to moderate the chat a little bit better so that he can somehow tell me which ones I should be responding to. We've tried doing like the Q thing before it. You can put a John thing before it, something else, so I know which ones I'm supposed to answer and which ones I need to just totally ignore. And that'll help me make it smooth. I really want this to be smooth. I don't want it to be a bad experience for anybody, and if it's a bad experience, then that's on me as the host, making the making the space not work well for us, right? So let's make sure that we got it right. And again, I'm new at this. I've been doing a live show now for 4 months, and I don't know what I'm doing, right? So I'm still trying to figure this shit out, and that's how it is. So there we go. I do it to you all the time, right? I see stuff in there, and that looks like something interesting to talk about, but it's you're talking to somebody else, and it's completely out of context, right? So maybe like Greg says, do a J first, J dash, or something to get my attention, or PC dash or something, and then I can filter them out and find them. So that's my ask of you, is to help with that. I will do a much better job of trying to read them out. And Jeff said he was going to try and help me out as much as he can in screening things out for me. I'm going to try and find a way to get him the ability to like highlight comments for me. We'll figure that out. But know that it's an issue. I know that it's an issue. Somebody called me out yesterday on it. I'm like, damn it, I always feel terrible when things go wrong like that, and I just wanted to get it out there. So that's that. The last announcement I want to make, I can't make by myself. I'm going to have some help here. So I'm going to bring in somebody to help me make this next announcement. I think you're gonna like this one. Hold on one second. We've got with us our good friend Bryan from Hawaii Crap Show. Can you say hi, Bryan? I think we can hear you. Let's get your voice. Hello? No, not yet. I think I might have muted you. Hold on. I did. Can you say how that? There we go. We got your voice now. Hey, Bryan. Cool. So Bryan would like to make an announcement. We got the big banner on screen here. I'm not sure if you can see the screen, Bryan, but we've got your thumbnail for your high roller craps tournament. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah. So this Friday we're gonna have our first high roller craps tournament. So me and John, we were talking about how can I contribute to the craps gaming casino gaming TV, and I came up with this awesome idea of having just everybody does crap strategy tournaments. So but what's missing in the craps community is dice tossing, and so we're gonna do our first ever live dice tournament. We're gonna do bracket style. My son is in wrestling, so I kind of like this bracket style. So you're gonna roll out. We're gonna count your points. You can throw out as much sevens on the come outs as you want, and then we're gonna whoever get the highest roll will move on to the next bracket. Double elimination. We'll probably it's coming into a huge thing, and we're gonna test it out with all of our HCS members on Friday. So join us live on Casino Gaming TV 5:30 and Hawaii Crap Shooters YouTube channel. And hopefully in the future we'll move it up, open it up to all of you YouTube viewers. John, in my early show, people wanted to see you match up with a dream matchup with Jeremy from Color Up, and who has the shortest rolls. They said that's what they're saying. Dream matchup, like we could have Ed from Roll to Win go with against George CY, like a heavyweight match. That'll be an awesome, matchup. Me against Chef Dice, those kind of things. Ted, Toothpick Ted, Jacob from Wager Me This said he's willing to participate. But it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna get everybody there. No betting, just throwing, and we'll just have a bunch of fun every week on the Casino Gaming TV. John, are you muted or?
Yeah, I muted myself while you were talking. I want to make sure we don't have the echo and stuff. Sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say, you guys make so much fun of me with my seven throwing. I'm ridiculous of throwing sevens, and again, it's random, right? I believe really strongly that whatever strategy I'm working, it better work against the random shooter, right? So that if I happen to be a good shooter, it works better. Like I'm not trying to target stuff towards a shooting style. But yeah, I throw better live than I do here. I'm taking a couple days off. I gotta not throw for a bit. I threw so many sevens this week that it was embarrassing. And then last night I went live with a nighttime practice at 11 o'clock or whatever at night here. And I didn't throw any sevens, but I sniped myself all night. I was doing don't pass and I hit every freaking number that I hit. It's just, for some reason right now, the dice are not playing for me. But I like what you're doing. And I think because you're doing it right before you're going live. right before your Friday practice. Because you guys don't know this, but in Hawaii they do a Friday practice where the whole team gets together, and you guys have a kicking time. I've seen video of it. Like you're eating food, you're drinking, you're swearing, you're doing all the things. It looks like it's super fun. But it's team practice, which is awesome. This is going to be like your practice before the practice. This is like your warm-up time, right? So, that kind of comes to my point of today's show, which is practice. You all practice more than anybody, right? And I think this feeds into that. I think it's going to be fun to watch you practice, watch your process, you know? And people are already chatting about who's going to come in and want to do the next one. I think we should do it. We talked last night about if this thing takes off, we'll do it regionally. And we'll have, the Hawaiians going here and some others going here, and we'll have multiple brackets going, and then we can have the Tournament of Champions at the end.
Oh, that would be cool.
Right?
Yeah, we can have everybody from Texas, from Cali.
Totally.
And the good thing is everybody can do it online. As long as you have a practice station and a camera, and we can see you live, you're in, Everybody
Totally.
and anybody can jump in this tournament.
I think it'd be great. I think we have to test it with you, make sure that it works, the technology. So we're going to start tomorrow, everybody. Tomorrow night at tomorrow night at 3:30 Pacific, 5:30 Hawaii. Right, 5:30 Hawaii, 3:30 Pacific.
No, 7:30 Pacific.
That's right, you're ahead of you. 7:30 Pacific tomorrow. And so that makes it 10:30 East Coast. California Club's like East Coast versus West Coast. I think we got to get a random group in here and have a bunch of randos throwing. Just have some fun with it. But this will be a regular thing. We're going to film this every Friday. We're going to go live with you every Friday and have it out there. It's our first, besides Mid-Atlantic Craps, it's our now first recurring live show on Casino TV. So every Friday at that time, 5:30 Hawaii, 10:30 East, we're going to go live, watch these guys practice their throwing, and have a tournament with it. And I think you're going to open the floodgates too, right? You're not just going to throw. You said you were going to let them talk smack too. Is that right?
Right. So, so anything goes as long as you're not blocking their landing zone or anything. But on Friday, we're going to allow nagging and distractions and teasing on a cordial level. But that's how we're going to do it. We're going to have some fun with it. And I can just only imagine how big this can get, and we can see all of our great YouTube personalities, all of our viewers that jump on our chats every day, and we get to see them shoot and have this tournament of champions. And you guys can win a pro crap shirt if you win the whole entire tournament.
20 Lammers. I'll put Lammers up there for sure. I always do that kind of thing, right? Yeah, definitely so. I think that's cool. This is gonna be so much fun, Bryan. I think it's gonna be great. I think, like you say, we do a lot of strategy talk. We don't do a lot of throwing. George does, and Ed does, right? But as a show, we don't get a lot of live shooting. I think it's gonna be cool. Something different for us to watch instead of just me or you or someone else just throwing the dice and making our Samuel bets. So I think it's gonna be kind of fun.
Right.
Different.
That was
exciting. The point. Yeah, that was the point of that whole channel, was to do different stuff. And this is one of those different stuff kind of a thing that should be, and I think, pretty entertaining. So Buckeye Slim says, I got a black chip on Mar. I think we need a side.
People are taking odds on the whole
100%. Oh, there's going to be a whole side hustle going on just this for sure. I got money on Mars Hardways, that's for damn sure. Yeah, California Craft.
Oh, thanks, John. After you see my shooting on my virtual, yes, don't bet on me.
You've seen my shooting too, but I'm as bad as it gets right now. So anyway, that's the big announcement, Bryan. Thanks for doing that.
All right.
I'm going to talk. If you got, I can only go for like 10 more minutes. I got to turn the stream off and go to work. So let me ask you a quick question. We had a question come up in chat in Discord today from Uncle Ben's, and he asked me about transitioning from light to dark, dark to light, that kind of thing. And it got me thinking about practice, right? You guys practice a lot. One thing I've been saying all the time when I practice is the things that I practice. Like one of the things that I practice all the time is I always call my bets out when I practice. And I always make it a point, as boring as it is for y'all to watch, I take all the money off the table and I rebet from my rack every time, instead of just saying, well, that pays that, and my net is $8. And pay myself. What do you guys do in your practice sessions that makes it feel more real, so you're actually getting good practice? What is your approach?
Well, in our practices, we just cut out the chips like a regular, you know, and then they'll tell us our presses, what they want to press, and those kind of things. We try to simulate it as close as Vegas as it is. So we don't. I don't bring it up to my rack like you do, and then bring it back down. Because you never would do that in the casino, right? So,
Well, no, I'm not saying
or do
that.
you?
What I'm saying is when I win. So in other words, if I lose my bets, as a dealer, I take all the bets
Uh-huh.
down and then I rebet from my rack. What I see a lot of people
Oh,
doing
yeah,
is
yeah.
saying, you know, oh, I lost $10 here, but I won $20 here, so they take $15 from the casino and put that
Oh,
right to their
yeah,
rack.
they're paying
That
out the net.
shortcut.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
we'll pay out the net of what you would get, and then or bring out another session stack or a player stack, right? We will do that just for because we're slow dealers at Hawaii Captures when we're dealing our home games, so we
Yeah.
do that. Yeah, I don't see no problem with that. I mean, if you want to see the money move, but
Hmm.
if you're by yourself and you're practicing, I think that's fine because you know the concept. But
Yeah.
when you go to the casino, sometimes like Mrs. Money Shot would go, she knows all her net pays and all that, but when she went to the
Hmm.
casino, she wasn't in the group because she never practiced that,
Oh.
right? So I would say like the week before, take down all your bets, repay everything, do everything, simulate Vegas like how it is,
Yeah, and I
so
think
you're
a part of that,
comfortable, right?
yeah, totally. And I think part of that, oh, by the way, let me ask this question in chat. Are you guys getting an echo in chat? I just want to know, because my microphone has been on the whole time. Are you getting an echo or not? I just want to know how this interview mode wants to work here. Um, the question I was going to ask you was, you said Mrs. Money Shot knows her payouts, right? And I think that's an important bit, because I think your next bet up is pretty important. You are getting an echo. Damn it. I knew it was going to happen. When you're making your next bet, how do you set up things? Or do you guys practice that? Like, you know, I got 18 out there. It's going to pay 21. I'm going to rebet, or I'm going to press up to 24, whatever you're going to do. Do you have your next bit of money ready to go? How do you know and work on what the next bet looks like? And how do you mentally get ready for placing the next bet?
Yeah, well, we usually do, we mid press. Hawaii crap shooters, we half press a lot. Um, so coming down, if you're doing a regression, then you should have your monies out. But usually if it's not complicated, you're going to cross and you want to, let's say you go 640 your cross and then you regress to 110. You, it really doesn't. For us, I think we just have it ready, or we'll just cut it out from that win. Usually, we'll just cut it out from that win. So it's not like we're doing a second bet again or adding, or because we don't power press. If you're power pressing, you should have your chips ready. But if you're regressing, you're using the profits. You're muted again, I think,
Yeah, I
John.
know. I'm muting every time you talk. I'm
Okay.
trying to remember how to do that.
Oh,
But you guys do call out your next. So in other words, what I'm saying is, if you're going to go from 12 to 24, 12 to 18, you know, for every bet, let's say you're down, you're at base, you have your 44 inside,
yeah.
right? You know,
Uh,
if the 5 hits, my next words are going to be. If the 9 hits, my next
yeah.
words are going to be. And you know what's coming up, right? Do you practice that piece too, or is that just so much by memory now you just have it down
Yeah.
pat?
Right. Yeah. Like muscle memory, it's just repetition, right? 18 on the 5 goes to quarter, quarter goes to 35, 35 goes to 50, 50 goes to 75. Yeah. And yeah, and you watch the dealer. Once you keep on doing that same kind of strategy, it comes second nature, and it's good because you know what you're supposed to be getting. You're not thinking, and the game should move faster. But it's like a not really a chess game. It's almost like throwing the dice. You already know what your next moves is going to be because you practice that strategy so much. Only problem is when you get to the black chip level, which you hardly ever get there and you hardly practice that. That's when you're gonna start thinking like, well, 150. Do I go to 300 now? Do what? Mrs. Money Shot would say, I never been to this level. What do I do? Toothpick Ted in Reno. Remember we were Chef Dice on the hour roll. He didn't know what to do. He was telling Corey, I'm at 500 on my 5. What do I do now?
You know, it's funny
That
what
was
I do.
hilarious, right?
So it's funny is here, and I say this a lot. I don't get there all the time, but because my minimums here are so low, 500's our maximum bet here in Seattle. So we get there a lot. And what happens, what I see here, and it's funny you say that because in Vegas or Reno, where the maximums are 5,000, you're doing mid-press, 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 and you might get to $100 or whatever else. When your maximum is 500, what I see people doing is being wickedly aggressive. They're like, they power press to get to 500 max, and they just collect purples all day long because you can't go any past that. So they get everything they can to get to 500 as fast as they possibly can. And what happens, you can imagine, they never collect. And the casinos make so much more money on these guys trying to get to max because the max is so low. The casinos are making more on them than Vegas does, I think, because they're so much more aggressive trying to get there. But I always say press the color. Like I don't forget because I pressed when I get from the reds to the greens, I take a green. When I go from green to black, I take a black. When I go from black, I press all the way to purple and just get it like that. That way I don't forget where I am and I know what the numbers are.
And it's your routine, right? Coming down to your routine. When the power pressers press to, they're just collecting. They don't have any more levels to go up. But like you ask any Vegas dealer, they see power pressers lose, right? A lot, and they witness it a lot. You can win a lot, but it's like either you be the hero or you be the zero. There's no middle in between a power press, right?
Yeah, that's very true, and that's the thing, and that's we talked about like yesterday the strategies. Your quarter pounder and skill 66, and the strategies like that are designed to like two hits to base, right? So you're generally speaking going to be, unless I'm throwing the dice, you're going to be kind of safe getting to base, and maybe 1 out of 50 times you get to base, you get the good roll where you get to 500. Right? That's how infrequently it happens, but that's what we're all playing for. When a right side player is playing for that chasing the rainbow kind of thing. And that's why I like those 2 hits and get back to even quickly so you can try that. Meanwhile, all the dark side guys are just collecting. Every single time it's like an ATM machine while we're waiting to get to the big one. They're just collecting all the way through and just making this static money, so it's cool.
Yeah.
Buckeye Slim says this. Here's something. Buckeye Slim says, my next bet comes from the win, so the dealer has to figure it out, not me. And I think it's less about how much the payment is, Buckeye. I was more thinking about like you knowing what you want it to be. Like because if you have a cross bet, if the 6 is already at 30 and the 5's still at 14, when the 5 hits, what's your next move? Are you pressing just the 5? Are you moving that money somewhere else? Or if the 4 is at 20 and you're going to get paid 39, where is that money going after the hit? And that's why I'm thinking like ahead, like given every number I have placed, what do I do with those wins? Because it could be different number by number.
Mm-hmm. Hey, John, I got to go take off. I got to take care of my kids.
Good.
Got to get them to school. But
Oh,
thanks.
yeah.
Tune in tomorrow for the High Roller Craps tournament.
That's right.
Appreciate all you guys all. And Casino Gaming TV, go subscribe to that if you haven't. Let's get this channel going. But thank you guys. Have a good day.
Brian, thanks for being here. Thanks for being here, Brian. Appreciate you.
Okay.
All right, bye.
All right. Bye.
All right, folks. Well, thanks for that. As I said before, I got to go. I have a work thing at 9 o'clock that I cannot get out of today. We had somebody call out that I have to cover for at 9, so I'm there. Excuse me. But yes, looking at the chat real quick, I do see this. Skill asks, what does PC mean? We'll probably get on this rhythm of just saying PC dash or PC something. I can search chat. I have a window where I get a little search box. I can put in like PC, and I only see chats with the letters PC in them. That way I can screen out all the talk that's going on around me. And if you want me to see something, just put that in there. That'll work for a little while. It may take me out of context a little bit, but I'm going to try my best to keep me focused on what's important to say and what's important to respond to. I don't want the show to go off the rails, and I don't want to, like I said, go sideways with things. And I'll pull a couple of things out because Buckeyes wrote a few cool things in here. He said, I think you're saying to when I was talking about rolling and taking the money off and putting the money back, you say it's not boring, it helps calculate. It's true. I learned a lot by when I watched Color Up the last year or so. Watching Jeremy do this was where I remembered that I've got to remember to do this part, which is always take it down, always pay it back, always take it down, always pay it back, instead of just paying the net, because A, it helps me to remember what pays what. I have to think like, what does a $66 six pay? You got to remember like, what do these things pay when you're out there? I've learned how to deal and know what to expect. I can catch mistakes better. But I think as a person running a show, I always worry about like, am I being boring? Am I out there just talking for talking's sake? And is it like, would you want me to just get on with it kind of thing? So I always run this sort of a thing, but rolling too fast is also a bad thing. So if I get too many rolls in, it goes too quick sometimes. So yeah, you're saying also go back to controlled shooting. I know what you mean. I will do some more of that. It is slower to do that, so we get less rolls in. And when I'm evaluating a strategy, I want more rolls. So there's a balance that I try to strike there of, am I trying to win money today, or am I trying to show you how a strategy works? And that's a tough one too, because yesterday it was more about, let me show you how these two strategies work, so more rolls is better. Last night was more about, let me try and practice, and I probably should have been controlled shooting last night instead of random. Again, it's a balance for me. I'm trying to keep it fun and entertaining, and at the same time educational too. I always want to make sure that I'm working on learning as we go. So, yeah, cool. People comment if I'm too, yeah, that's true. They will let me know if I'm talking too much. So, hey, Wager, how you doing, man? You're right about that. And I think maybe that's what I need to lean on, is going slower, like actually setting my dice and throwing and making it more timed. And getting, in an hour here, we should see about 40 to 50 rolls. I've actually got about 35 to 40 minutes at the table most days where I can get about 30 rolls in instead of 100 like I normally do. So that's a good piece of advice, and I appreciate that. All right, as said, it's 8:59. I've got to get to teaching here. I've got to cut the show short today. I will come back again tonight and do another rollout like I did last night. Last night was focused, one strategy, no changes. Tonight I'm going to bob and weave a little bit and work the table some. So with that said, love y'all. Thanks for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. You have no idea how much I appreciate all y'all coming and hitting the like button and doing the thing, the YouTube thing. I appreciate it. We'll see you out on tonight at my practice session, tomorrow morning again here, and then the big one, Hawaii Crap Shooters weekly dice throwing practice tournament. That's going to be absolute fire. Thanks again, everybody, and I'll see you in the morning. Bye. Oh, where's my button?